Living Christ Selassie, I give thanks for this day, this life, this breath, for the vibration of creation that is now and ever present in the mountain. I give thanks for all these beautiful people that have come together because of the beautiful soul that brought us all together. Our beautiful mother, Oma, teacher, friend, neighbor, hiking leader, all great things to so many people. As we gather here today, Great Spirit, let us celebrate her beautiful life. Let us heal together in our sorrow, but also let us be strong in our joy. And let us laugh, let us share stories, and let us bring our beautiful Gerti to life today. Life in spirit, life in our hearts, life in our minds, eternally and forever. Let that come out of this today. And thank you for bringing us together and for touching our lives with this beautiful spirit. Amen. Okay, so it's a celebration. We're going to celebrate. So what's going to happen in just a minute is some wonderful friends of mine who I've known since high school and beyond. We're going to come and we're going to sing and we're going to drum. In your program, you can sing along. It's a call and response song. It is a West African song, comes from the Yoruba tradition. This is a song for Elegua. And you know, one thing about my mother, that many of you know well, is she was a woman of many cultures, many languages. If she hadn't been a teacher, she'd have been a cultural anthropologist, guarantee it. So we're going to have lots of different music today to celebrate from lots of different people and parts of the world. But we're going to start with this song for Elegua. Elegua is the deity of roads, crossroads, but really any roads. So as we sing this song for Elegua, what I'm praying for and hoping for is that all roads are open for our beautiful mother, our Oma, but also open for us to heal, to celebrate and joy. So I'm going to invite my wonderful friends and my extended family, my brothers Brett and Stuart and Corinne, our sister, to come up, and we're going to sing Elegua. Y'all just have to try your best to sing along on the response part.
Para suayo.
What a great way to show the joy, right? At this point, I want to introduce and invite the family members who are speaking. Anna May, her sister, will be first.
Well, I have to take a deep breath to do this. Last time I spoke here, it was for Gerti's son, Scott, and on a very sad occasion. So I am Annie, Gerti's younger sister, who, as a child, adored Gerti, the big sister who wore already beautiful dresses, could go to parties and visited balls together with her very interesting friends. Too bad I was only 5 or 6 years old and couldn't join. But this situation changed. After Gerti finished high school, Gerti went to the United States with a scholarship of her university in Heidelberg to study Spanish in El Paso. I remember the evening when she left. Our parents accompanied her to Rotterdam, from where her ship would leave direction New York. I was left behind with my aunt and my uncle. At this evening, I was sent to bed. The adults were still sitting in the living room when Gerti came to my bed to say goodbye. I couldn't cry. I couldn't give her a smile. I was frozen. Something dark and cold overcame me. The 8-year-old girl I was knew that this separation will last longer than she can imagine, and that nothing will be the same after Gerti's departure. Of course, this remembrance and feeling came up when I had to realize that my big sister has passed away. But Gerti arrived in the United States and never came back to live in Germany. Nevertheless, she always kept the ties with her family, her relatives, and also friends. Imagine, in these times, there was no internet. Phone calls were extremely expensive, and only for special occasions like birthdays and Christmas. The journey over the Atlantic was long, and flights were at the beginning unaffordable. So we wrote letters. Every week, Gerti sent my parents and me a letter and got one from us. When I was older, I corresponded with her by myself. In my desk at home, I have a big pile of letters from my sister Gerti. One might think that this way of correspondence took an awful lot of time. Yes, but think how much time we spend nowadays at the smartphone, the computer, looking at and reading about things we don't really need to know. Then the letter writing time shrinks together. When I was 21, I visited my sister in Alaska, where she stayed for some months together with Bob and her 2 little boys. I liked to take these vivid and wild boys to the playground where I could see the Mount McKinley when the weather was good enough. This gave my sister some time for herself. To my 60th birthday, Gerti delivered a speech in which she mentioned that in Alaska she realized that she has not only a sister but also a friend. To hear this made me very happy. This speech she gave at my birthday showed a special ability of Gerti. She was a very good storyteller, and with her witty and thrilling narration, she got the attention of the whole audience. Whenever now I mention my sister, even with distant persons, they say, "Oh, this is the woman with the great speech at your birthday." Yes, that was Gerti. And as we became friends, Gerti and I, and traveling became easier and affordable for us, we together started an endless row of trips to foreign countries, places to be, and also less fancy places where Gerti and I always found something worth to look at and talk about. Gerti knew a lot about history, especially the ancient history of Europe. She loved the Romans. A little strange, I think, but maybe the teacher who taught her the Latin was impressed her very much. I don't know. But also the ancient Greeks, from whom the Romans learned at least a little bit, caught her interest. So Gerti and I visited countless historical sites, especially in Greece, where my husband and I own an old house in a small village. Gerti never got bored. Nothing was too difficult in order to see something special. Often we arrived at the site at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun was burning down. The site would close at 3, like often in Greece. And we both never doubted one moment that we would do the sightseeing. This is something I only could do with my sister Gerti. The beer and talks afterwards showed that all the sweat was worth it. Of course, the most important point of all that traveling to China, to Thailand, all over Europe and the southwest of the United States has been that we were together and found each other in the amazement of this great world. Now, Gerti left this world, and again, nothing will be the same. And I know it will take some time until I come to a real mourning and overcome again the feeling of this 8-year-old girl, the darkness, the cold, the frozen inner world. Gerti has left. I will miss her terribly. I will end with some sentences out of Joseph Conrad's narration, Youth, that can stand not only for youth, but life itself. It was January, and the weather was beautiful. The beautiful, sunny winter weather that has more charm than in the summertime, because it is unexpected and crisp, and you know it won't, it can't last long. It's like a windfall, like a godsend, like an unexpected piece of luck. So, thank you.
Now to honor her Oma. Come on up, Kelly.
Hello, everyone. When I was asked to talk, I knew that I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what to say. And so I have this thing that I do for my family members where I usually write them poems for birthdays or other things, and so I wrote her a poem. Someone very special is missing from this room today, but she is not fully gone, just transformed in a different way. And our hearts are heavy without her. The stone keeps rolling down as we try to push it up that hill, trying to reach her one more time. It's moments like this I wish I could go back in time to make it stand still. Just so I could have 5 more minutes of her love, and I would give anything to have one more hug. But a million one mores would never be enough. I can see her in this very room right now, in all of you. The light and the laughter, the music, and her favorite colors of blue. And even without her here, she's throwing one more lavish party. A party for us to remember all of her love, kindness, and glory. To my sweet Oma, I hope this reaches you. As heartbroken as I am that your physical presence is not near, I feel you around me in everything I do. I can feel you right here. Every day that I look to the sky, I tell you how beautiful you are, just as you did for me. Painting the sky in reds, pinks, oranges, and everything in between. I can feel you in the wind each time I close my eyes, wrapping me in your warm embrace, using the breeze as your disguise. I hear your laugh when I'm near a creek bubbling up with a shrill, and I replay every story you ever told me when the night is still. And as I live my life, I think of the stepping stones you placed for me, and I will continue to live for your legacy. My Oma was sweet, like a box of chocolates filled with marzipan. And she was gentle. She never let the world harden her, but oh my, was she strong. My Oma was perfect to me in every way. She taught me to bake, to read, and she showed me the wonders of dreaming when she brought me to my first Nutcracker ballet. My Oma was a force and the brightest light. I think that's why my favorite holiday is Christmas, because she knew how to light up any room, even on the darkest winter night. It's hard to believe that when I walk out of here today, I won't be going to Oma's house for dinner and see her waving at me from the doorway. And there's a million more words I could say about her, but they still wouldn't be enough. I would be talking for an eternity just to try to describe her love. And I can hear 4 words ringing in my ears each day, and every special memory of us spilling flour on ourselves in the kitchen, reading books by the fireplace, her telling me to eat some dough because no one will notice it's just a smidgen, spinning our spinner in the chair for hours, seeing her beautiful crystal eyes look up at me through my tiny kicking feet as she pushes me on the swing. I could have sworn she had superpowers. Picking her a special flower to plant when we got home, crawling into her bed each morning, even though I could barely reach it, and when I made it up, I was enveloped with her warm scent, mostly of sunscreen. And the world was quiet. No one else was up. It was just us 2 alone. And when I cracked open her door, when I knocked on the door of her house, when I saw her in any room, when I called her on the phone, when I ran into her arms to be welcomed home, we exchanged our first 4 words. I can hear 4 words ringing in my ears to this day. I can see her so vividly as she says, "Hi, Liebe," and I say, "Hi, Oma," both of us with a coy smile on our faces, and after we said these 4 words, we were off to the races. Laughing and cooking and reading and looking at hummingbirds and butterflies, and I can still hear her say those words from the sky. I wish that we could have had more time. But, my sweet Oma, I want you to know that I've said a prayer for you every night. And I'd like to pray for her again now, if that's all right. Dear Lord, if there are hydrangeas up in heaven, please pick some for her. She'll cherish them dearly, of this I am sure. Grow her the most magnificent garden for her to tend to, and let it have the finest lake beside it in a crystalline turquoise blue. Sorry. Give her all the love, joy, and peace in whatever way you do up there. Let there be no war, pain, or violence wherever she goes. Give her a place that is only just and fair. And any time I make a Ribbelkuchen or a Hazelnuss tell her to come down and share a bite with me. And tell her to stay for a while, so this time I can start telling her my stories. And if there are cats up in heaven, give her as many as her heart wishes for. And give her the softest glimmering sand on your lake's golden shore. I pray that you help her to heal us from up above, because the wound has run deep without her physical love. And if she's an angel up in heaven, which I know she is, I pray that you give her the most melodic voice, so the world listens to what she says. And I would like to thank you for blessing me with a mentor, a friend, an inspiration, and my beacon of hope to the very end, my liebe Oma, my very best friend. As much as I miss your presence already, I found comfort in knowing you're always next to me. And there is nowhere I'll go now that you won't be with me. I'll never be alone, because my Oma, with you watching over me, I'll always be home. Thank you.
Okay, so a little side story. Kailani and I are down here just now saying, you going next? Am I going next? Boy, did I make a mistake. Anna, I should have followed you. Wow. I mean, first of all, just the love in this room is a reflection of my mom. I never called her mom, I called her mother. That was just something she had. She wanted to go by mother. I want to point out her program. It's created with a lot of intentionality. So on the very front cover, you see a quote. When love exists, nothing else matters. Not life's predicaments, not the fury of the years, not a physical winding down. Isabel Allende. If you've ever read any of Isabel Allende, you know that she embodies magical realism. That's my mother. She had magic, and I think all of us in this room know that. Very few people, I think, genuinely can express that magic. I mean, I think we all have it, but she could express it, and it came naturally to her, and it came through love. And that quote really spoke to me when I was thinking about, how do we honor her in the beginning of a program where the first thing people see, it's got to be about love, because my mother had so much love for everybody, for everything. And what's amazing about it is you wouldn't think that she would with what she went through. And I want to recognize and acknowledge that. We all got to see, most of us, just the beautiful, the bright, the shining. But it didn't come naturally for her all the time. Sometimes there were a lot of scars that she worked through to get through to be able to show people that love. Living through World War II in Germany. She went through things that, thank goodness, none of us, I hope, ever have to go through. And I want to, in her honor, speak to that and talk about how passionate she was about people going through those situations. Many of you in the room know you would have a glass of wine with her, or you would talk to her and she would talk about her fear of that for people. She had 2 relationships in her life that didn't work the way she wanted them. And that hurt. That was painful for her. And being with her every day, we saw that at times. But you all never saw that. Most of you never saw that. Some intimate friends did. But that's what makes her love, I think, that much more powerful, that much more beautiful, is she was a woman that endured some amazing hardships. The loss of her son, my older brother. She shined beyond it and through it. It took time, but she did. And that goes to the next quote inside, which, thank you, Pastor Ann, for starting. I love that we read that together. That was beautiful. That you will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and hills will burst into song before you, and all the trees of the field clap their hands. It's significant that that comes from Isaiah. And I want to share, if you didn't know, and if you weren't there when my brother passed, speaking of that hardship for my mother, we chose a scripture passage from Isaiah as well. Most of you know my mother's church, it's the mountains, it was the beach, Prospect Lake. I mean, that's where she worshiped, right? And many of you got to worship there with her, thank goodness. But when Pastor Ann and I met, and I can't say thank you enough for what Ann has done for us in helping us to prepare for today, she asked me a question that I think was a very powerful question. She said, "What do you believe about your mom now that she's passed?" And I said, well, I want to share what I believe, but also what I know. And what I know is when my brother passed, and I was right here 28 years ago, the day before he passed, we had his service, and we chose a piece of scripture from Isaiah that said something to the effect of, "Young men shall grow weary, but those who wait on the Lord shall mount on wings like eagles." Some of you know this, some of you don't. No sooner had those words been read, and my beautiful wife and her mother had brought an eagle feather from the Dene tradition. My brother, as you know, was Navajo. We placed that feather with my brother, and as soon as you heard those words, "shall mount on wings like eagles," a golden eagle came over the cemetery hill, and it hung over my brother, 20 feet in the air, for what seemed like forever, but maybe for 20, 30 seconds. That was March 13th. And drifted off over section 16 into the misty, kind of snowy air that was starting. And I remember letting out a cry, and that cry to my brother was me talking to him saying, "You live, there's more, you beat death." And so when I shared with Ann what I believe, I know my mother is very much alive in spirit. Not just a belief, but it's what I know. I was blessed from my brother, and I'm blessed to share that with you. Not many of us have physical signs where we know when transition happens that we're able to say, "Oh, it's okay. There it is." But I know it's okay. I know it's okay for my mother. Yesterday, speaking of my brother, he sent his brother, a good friend, Joe Uri, who they were best friends. He came to be with us the last couple days, which is a godsend, or brother send, I think. To help us in this time. And we went up and we started the process of returning my mother to Mother Earth. And we were at an alpine lake as clear and as pristine as you can imagine at 11,000 feet yesterday. And started, as you may know, my mother was cremated, to return her to the earth. And you felt her spirit so beautifully. We went into the forest and did the same thing, and her spirit was with us. It was there. Ironically, we found a beautiful stand of oak, and for those of you who know my mother well, at the base, it was full of little ground junipers, full of juniper berries. You know what they make juniper berries with, right? Yeah, okay. I mean, it was like a toast right there, right? So again, just beauty for this beautiful woman. On the back cover, it says, "One ought every day at least to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words." Johann Wolfgang Goethe. I'm saying that wrong, my German is off today. Goethe. Anami, correct me. Goethe. Okay. That phrase captures my mother. She was a woman of such refined beauty and grace. If there was a theater event to go see, she was there. She wanted to take us. If it was as simple as sitting on her back porch, enjoying the sun, as she came into this world, of course, that's what she would do. If it was taking a hike, if it was reading a good book, she read so many books. She was so well read. One of the most intelligent people I know from reading. I think we can all take from this. I think we can all walk away with this quote and remember that she would want us to also do these things, to always do something every day that's full of love full of adventure. You heard Anami speak of her traveling the world. I mean, she went all over the place, whether it was South America, Central Asia, Europe, just taking in culture, meeting people, enjoying life. So I really hope that, especially her grandchildren, but all of us, can remember her by doing something every day, where you just cherish one little thing, take a risk, do something interesting. And in her obituary, I mentioned that she raised us with wit, with grit, with love and charm. One of my favorite moments when she was in Alaska is, I don't remember this, I was 6 months old, but a funny story about her that I want to share that was the wit. So she adopted myself and my brother, who's Navajo. Neither one of us look like my mom, although some people would mistake that sometimes and we'd laugh at them. But in Alaska, apparently she went to the beach and it was very full, nowhere to go, nowhere to put places down. This was 1973. And apparently a woman, where my mom was trying to set up, thought, why is this woman here with these two different looking children, no man with them? So she looked disgusted at my mom. It was kind of giving her the how dare you? My mom said, is there a problem? She says, well, I'm sorry, but I can't help but notice you have two very different looking boys. My mom didn't skip a beat. She said, well, of course, they have two different fathers. So what did that lady do? She took her stuff, she folded it all up and left. And my mom was like, oh, great. We can spread this out. That's the kind of wit that this woman has. Just always there, always ready to challenge, any wrong thinking. The grit, I think we've spoken to, it is very obvious. She was tough. I was looking at the name Gertrude, and there's a loose translation that it means the strong spear. That was my mother. Very strong. Funny story real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap it up about that strength. We were at Prospect Lake, little kids. There was a man who, I don't know, maybe wanted her wallet or her purse. He was standing at the side of her car and wasn't gonna let her go. And he's like, I'm not gonna let you go. He put his foot under the tire. He's like, I'm not gonna let you go, I'm not gonna let you go. What do you think my mom did? Put the car in reverse and said, I'm gonna go. She was fearless. She would tackle anything, but again, it was all with love. I wanna thank a lot of people. Just very quickly, all the family, all the friends in this room, Fountain Fort Carson School District 8, you are a family of my mother's as well. The Colorado Mountain Club, Starsmore, the TOPS Committee, the Park Board, all the places that she served, thank you for your support. The entire neighborhood of Ridgeway, so many folks in here are the extended family of Ridgeway. Folks from the Palisades, which was where she was as she passed in assisted living. I want to especially thank Uli from Wimberger's, and I want to close with this. We went to get some food from Wimberger's the other day, and I got so many hugs and love from the people that work there. And Uli came and gave me a great big hug, and she whispered in my ear, she said, it's okay, Schätzchen. And if you don't know what that means in German, it's something to the effect of my darling, my sweetheart, and that was always what my mom called us, my Schätzchen. So make sure you're telling people that they're your sweetheart, that you love them, and that's a way you can carry on the legacy of this beautiful woman, Gerti Nuhn. I want to thank all the people that are here today, John Spangler, who's going to sing a song for my mom, Gardenian family. Thank you for sharing your love and making this a beautiful celebration of life for my mother. And now my wife Terry is going to come up and very briefly say a few words and then play a song on her flute for my mom. Love you, Mother.
I should have brought tissues, but never mind. Hi, everyone. Thank you, honey. So, our unique story is
I've known Gerti since I was about 15, 16 years old. Long before I knew my husband. Though she did try to have me meet her sons during my junior and senior years by asking me to have dinner with them at least twice a month. My mom and her were friends before they knew their children would give them their greatest gifts, their grandbabies. Forget about us. The grandkids are above everything and everyone else to my mom and my mama and but it is amazing to see that everyone in this room has their own beautiful story of how they know my mama-in-law and how she loved talking stories to everyone and anyone who would listen. I would like to thank those that could not be here today due to unforeseen circumstances, but still helped us from afar with this day and helped provide items for us. And to those who have been here with us, providing meals, an ear, a hug, and their puppy sitting services. My family from the reservation to Hawaii provided their ceremonies and aloha through our sage inlays. When we wear these lays, it is to provide us strength and healing, and we combine that energy with it. When we finish all we need to do, we then let go of the flowers as well to bless the spirit to continue on in its journey on the Rainbow Trail. Or in my Diné culture, the Corn Pollen Path. I would like to thank one of my best friends, Ane, and her beautiful daughters for gifting us their talent and love. My husband's best friends, Brett Stewart, for being there and rallying to support their brother. Scott's best friend, Joe, for coming early and doing everything I couldn't help with since being quarantined with the Austrian crew. I know it's been hard for you too. Joe, I know. My cousin-in-law, Jason, and his partner for traveling long distance to pay homage to Gerti. She loved and looked forward to your mom's visits, as do we. John, thank you for being such a good neighbor to Gerti. And she had plenty of fabulous neighbors over the years, and she would celebrate that fact with her New Year's parties. Those memories are all over the house in which we are currently staying in, and the love and care that inhabits that house seeps deep into the soul and has been nourishing us. I'm torn apart right now because I am unable to console my little family with my touch, but I will have to do it with my words and my song. My song is how the word Oma meant to us beyond mere words. I gotta drink some tea before I play, sorry. Thank you.
What beautiful stories, what beautiful music. At this point, it's your turn. We're going to have a microphone, and you may share about a minute of a story. You'll get a chance to tell more of it downstairs if you'd like. And so I'm going to go around with the mic if you would like to tell a story about this amazing woman. I know we've got somebody that's going to pepper the pot for you.
Thank you, Anne. Am I heard all right? It's very good to be here. My name is Sally Meadows, and I will have to speak quickly to keep this to 1 minute. Yesterday, I was sitting on the porch thinking of words I wanted to share with you. It was very quiet. There was no air movement. And this maple leaf drifted from the tree and landed on the piece of paper that I was taking notes on. It gave me the incentive to share my favorite autumn words or poem, which were written by Angeles Arian in the fourfold way. It says, "Autumn, honorable closure, a time for gathering the harvest and for letting go. As a leaf falls from the tree with dignity and grace." I met Gerti about 45 years ago. My son Mark invited her son Scott to his birthday party. Our paths crossed often in the grocery store and on the trails with the Colorado Mountain Club. I loved her hairstyle, that flipped hairstyle, and I loved her confident energy. We were both single moms and shared common love of nature and being outdoors. I met Sid, who I think of as her other sister, and hanging out with the two of them was exciting. I knew that I could meet anyone who spoke Spanish or French or German, and I had translators to enjoy a delightful conversation. After Bob and I married, Gerti became a part of our annual Christmas tree cutting party. We shared birthday celebrations and potluck dinners seasonally with Sid and Ralph and Linda Hodges. Gerti had a personal relationship with orchids. When I'd leave town for an extended time, I'd drop off my orchid plant with Gerti, knowing it would always look healthier when I returned. Gerti joined Bob and me on a trip to Peru. We were staying in a very rustic cabin in a steaming hot time in the Amazon jungle when Bob discovered how comfortable Gerti was when she didn't have to wear clothes. There were loose boards in the walls, and she called, "Bob, will you please come over here and get this cool water going?" I love people and gratefully have met many acquaintances and friends. I have a few precious friends. Gerti is one of my precious friends. The sadness and the joy we've shared has changed my life. Thank you, precious friend. You are free. Love never dies.
Are there others?
Hello, my name is Joe Uri. I was given a gift back in the mid-'80s, a gift of friendship and love, starting with Gerti and Scott. Gerti, with her beautiful self and German accent, reminded me of my own mom, with similar features, similar looks, but with a Hungarian accent. So she made me feel at home with her kindness, and it helped that she would often tell others when introduced that I was pleasing to the eyes, she said with a twinkle in her eyes. The gift continued over the years after Scott's passing as we stayed in touch, coming for visits and expanding our family with Cito, Terry, Kailani, and Jiraiya. It was a gift that my own mother, wife, and children were able to bond with Gerti, especially my kids. Gerti's eyes were always filled with joy and love each moment she shared with my kids, and my kids felt like she was their own grandmother. When we would come visit, she would make Gerti waffles in the morning, wonderful goods from the German bakery and deli for lunch, and Scott's shrimp scampi for dinner. Dinner was so special, it was just we had beautiful conversation, listening to Carlos Nakai while drinking Gerti teenies. Gerti took us on many hikes that my kids will remember because we could hardly keep up with her. She would look back and chuckle at times as the leader at us sweating and panting in the back, trying to keep up with her. It was magic each and every visit. I'm blessed that my family had the love with Gerti, and the love and spirit will always stay in their hearts. It's been my honor to be a part of Gerti's celebration of life this past week. As we say farewell to my adopted mother, Gerti, I will always feel her love and spirit in my heart, especially every time I have a Gerti waffle, Scott's shrimp scampi, or a Gerti teenie. Gerti, you've given me a lifetime of gifts, and your gift of a lifetime to me is you've been pleasing to the heart, my heart.
Mine will be really quick and not well thought out. My name is Linda, and Cito and my son Jason were dear friends, and either Jason would be up at Getty's or Cito at our house, but Jason always bragged about her fajitas. Yes, I've tried to make them, but, and Cito would always say at the house, well, what are we having to eat, spaghetti or chicken? That was my That's all I did. But you know, I would see Gerti up at the reservoir, because I hike by my, up there. And she would always brag about her grandchildren, and the granddaughter that played soccer, and the grandson that played the drums, and that Cito had dreadlocks. You know, she would tell me all this. But the one thing is, she loved her family, and I think you all have given witness to that, how wonderful she was.
Are there others?
Hi, hopefully I'm not too loud. We just wanted to say me and Jan work at the Palisades, and we were blessed to have Gerti for a few months with us. I don't know if everybody here is aware, in our little corner of the industry of living and helping people live their best lives, some people can forget that in facilities and places like ours, we try our best to let everybody live how they want to. And she was often the only person that could always be found to be at peace and happy to be where she was at. And we would check on her at happy hour or at meals, or just if we wanted to be around her, because she had such a different, beautiful, peaceful energy that not a lot of us at any age have. And she just had that. Cito spoke about that too. And we would be like, what can we do for you? How can we help? Do you need anything? And she'd always respond, I'm just happy to be here. And she was. And she would also pick these little beautiful moments to throw somebody like life-changing emotional advice. She got me at the powwow. And she said, I was having a conversation about how hard things can be, trying to figure out what the right thing to do is all the time. If you're a single parent and you're taking care of boys specifically, I have all boys. And I was talking to another person, and when our conversation was over, she touched my shoulder and she said, all you can do is try everything. And for whatever reason, I almost just started bawling when she said that. But it's helped me every day. There's a moment where I think about that with one of my kids, and I'm like, I'm just gonna try everything. And one of my goals in life is that when I am just at any time, it could happen tomorrow, that'd be great. I would love to have that. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just happy to be where I'm at, and I'm just gonna try everything. And I feel like that's how she was all the time, it sounds like, but that didn't change at all at any point in time for her, and I really admired that, and I thank the family for sharing her with us those last few months.
Yes. I'm gonna pass it on.
My name is Tom Romer. We moved across from Gerti in 2006, and it was like December 28th or 29th, and so we're moving in, boxes everywhere. It was a mess, and Gerti comes over and says, oh, I'm having a New Year's party. Would you like to come? And we went over and met the entire Ridgeway community, everyone, and just had such a delightful time. And Gerti was always such a fantastic host, and stories and joy, and that continued up until the end. And we got to see her just recently, so that was a blessing. But just for the Ridgeway community and the impact on our lives, she just made us feel welcome.
Others? Back there, thanks. Was there another one right along here?
Thank you. I'm Gabriel Kant. I can't remember not knowing Gerti because I've been a neighbor of hers since 1974 when I was a year old. So during that time, when she was traveling the world often, I got to water her plants, take care of her cats. I remember Bitsy and Chinook and all those wonderful things. So there's just far too many memories to share, but I'll share one. I remember in the 70s, margarine came out, and it was this big thing that was going to be healthy. And I remember she said, it doesn't taste like real butter, and it's not real, and I'm just sticking with real butter. And all her life, I think she stuck to things that were real and things that were true. And I'm very thankful for growing up with an environmental ethic that came from that came from Gerti that extends to my children now and my work. And I'm just so happy to have known her and to have been her neighbor all these years.
Others?
My name is Karen Crawford, and I live 2 doors down from Gerti. And although I lived on Ridgeway for 30-some years, it really wasn't until COVID that I got to know Gerti. And she started what we dubbed whining women. And we met every Friday outside on her deck where we felt safe, and we had the most wonderful conversations. And we had a lot of political conversations because that was a time that really Gerti struggled with because of her experience in World War II. But we talked about everything. We laughed, we cried, we drank wine. And we got through COVID. It has extended. And I've met wonderful, wonderful women through Gerti because she started it all. So I'm hoping we'll just continue it, celebrating her because she is the canyon. Her energy is the canyon, and we cherish her.
Others? Okay. Cito, did you want to speak?
Hello, my name is Brett Pavlik, and I moved to Cheyenne up here when I was 16, I believe, and that's when I met Cito and Jason Olden, and they became two of my best friends. And I remember spending many times at Gerti's house, and I remember just how it smelled and how she was always so positive, and her energy was so gracious, and she had this strength. And I remember we were pretty rambunctious teenage boys, and we did a lot of naughty stuff. And I remember Gerti just yelling at me, and I realized in that moment that's exactly how my mom would yell at me right now if she knew what we were doing. And that was the thing about her that was so beautiful, is she treated me just as my mom would treat me, you know, there was no difference. Thank you.
Others? Amazing woman. Yes, we've got one more over here.
Hello. My first time holding a microphone, so bear with me. I think one thing that we can all definitely say about Gerti, and one collective theme that one can gather just from listening to all of our stories, is that Gerti gave us a feeling of belonging. And she gave us an appreciation for life, for nature, and just being able to genuinely enjoy each other's company. And I think one of our best ways that we can continue that is just by doing that with our everyday as well, and knowing that Gerti is with us always in spirit.
Others? Then I would invite John Spengler. Oh, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so as you spoke, first of all, thank you. Thank you for all the love. We could go on, and there will be time later to do that. But as you spoke, I wanted to share something that I think you all need to hear. And it's about, I mentioned the magic of my mother. Well, the time that she left is not an accident. And some of you have spoke about this to me as well. But this is one of the more beautiful falls that we've ever had. And my mother's affinity and connection with nature, it only makes sense that she would leave during a time of change. So in the tradition of a lot of indigenous cultures, and we're bringing that in today, we're going to have a beautiful song by John Spangler in a minute, a Ridgeway, I'd say indigenous Ridgeway guy. But we have Gardenia and her family doing a beautiful song and hula at the end. Of course, my wife and her beautiful flute. Well, my mother was enamored with indigenous culture, if you didn't know that. She knew the magic in it. And so for the 4 days of her passing, those were very important, especially in indigenous cultures. It's believed there's 4 days when the spirit makes its journey. Every morning we went out and prayed, but there were signs that were given on those 4 days that I want you all to know in terms of Gerti's spirit moving on and living freely. So the first night we went up and we poured, of course, a nice glass of wine for her, and put out some of her Rivelkugeln that was frozen, and we placed it out, we all prayed, and as we did, a beautiful green shooting star went across the sky from south to north. Coincidence? You can all join me. I think not. Okay? The next day we went up and we were gathering some items, and I told the kids, take some things, especially Kailani and her Oma, with some jewelry, maybe some clothing she wanted to take. Kai said, well, yeah, I'll do that, but I want to take a cookbook. So she took a cookbook from her Oma. Inside were 3 letters, 2 in German, 2 from Anami, and 1 from a friend in Spain. The one in Spain had written her about the hard time she was going through at the time she was thinking of getting a divorce and raising 2 kids on her own. And that individual told her 2 things. 1, believe in your independence and know your self-worth. Kailani texted me that, and I said, well, Kai, that's her recipe. No wonder it was in a recipe book. Sign number 2. Sign number 3, Kailani is a college soccer player, as you heard. She got into her first game. She's been out with an injury and trying to fight her way in as a freshman to get some playing time. She got her first game Thursday, that's day 3 of my mom's passing, played for 21 minutes, scored a goal, and was able to dedicate it to her Oma. First college game, first goal. Give it up for that. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's day 3. Day 4, so we didn't know when she'd be cremated. Could have taken a week and a half. I let the folks know, obviously we have family in from overseas, and if they could do things right, but also, try to hit that week guideline, that would help us in ceremony as well. Well, day 4, I got an email from them saying, they're gonna cremate your mother today. Day 4, very important for me. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. It's so in sync. And then I looked up in the sky and I said, oh yeah, and there's a solar eclipse today. So you tell me, we all know Gerti. We all know, I shared with you what I got to experience with my brother. This beautiful soul is living on, for sure, and she went out with magic. So thanks for letting me share that. And we have some musical magic now, so I'd like to introduce John Spangler, our Ridgeway. I'm just gonna call you our Ridgeway Indigenous guy from now on.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Wow. 47 years. I'm not that old. So when Sito asked me to, here I'll get close. I am a professional musician. I do know how to talk on a microphone. I'll do it properly. When Sito asked me, I was honored. this is one of my songs. It has lyrics. I'm not going to sing them. I'm just going to play it as an instrument. It's entitled Listen to the Snow. Well, now, help me out. You can sing on this one. This is one that Cito had recommended, and I thought it's a great tune to play. It's written by the great John Duchendorf. It's called John Denver. How many of you knew Duchendorf was John Denver? I asked John if it was okay. No, I did not. I've changed the key, but I thought this was an appropriate one. Please help out. Almost in West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, flowing like a breeze. Country roads all take me home to the place I belong. Oh, West Virginia. tell you I was a high school teacher for a long time, and I do have my cheat sheet here, even though I've sung this song a million times. I have it as a reference. All my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to the water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Well, misty taste of moonshine, the teardrops in my eye. Country roads, oh, take me to the place I belong. Oh, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, oh, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. Radio reminds me of my home, far away. Driving down that road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Oh, yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place thank you, West Virginia. I'll take me home, oh, country roads. I'll take me home, oh, country roads. I'll take me home, country road.
And now a special dedication by Gardenia and family.
Hello, my name is Gardenia, and I had the pleasure of meeting Gerti when I was, I think, 15 or 14. She was my Spanish teacher at Fort Carson. And that's where I met Terry, and we became friends, and still to this day we're like family now with CeeLo and kids. So my kids, Gerti, like everybody has said today, she's such a wonderful person. Her soul, she loved everybody. And the same went for my kids. So my daughters, this is the oldest one, Ariana. When Gerti met her, I think she was, 6 or 7. And then it's such an honor today that my kids, and then Julie, she's the one in the black, and my nieces wanted to come and help her sing the song. So when we heard about Gerti, immediately my kids wanted to do something. So I retired as a dancer. I'm not dancing anymore, so I taught them. But now they want to share their gift to say goodbye to Gerti. The song that they're going to be singing, Julie, Trinity, and Kyla, my nieces, it is a song called I'll Be Seeing You Again. So just like, you know, I truly believe that we will see each other again today. And then Ari will be performing a hula entitled Eku Sweet Lei Po'ina Mai. And I just want to read what it translates to. Eku Sweet Lei Po'ina Ole, which translates to my sweet, unforgettable lei. My sweet, unforgettable lei, the most beautiful of all. Never fading, you are my sweet, unforgettable lei. So just like Gerti to everybody here and to us, she is unforgettable.
Where do I go from here? No, I'm lonely, but have no fear, 'cause I'll be seeing you, seeing you. Wherever I go, and I'll be with you, be with you. Wherever I go. Gone for me. Heaven knows no tears, but if only you were here, I'll be seeing you, seeing you, wherever I go. And I'll be with you, be with you, wherever I go. I'll be seeing you, seeing you, wherever I go.
and she's still with us. And so I leave you with this. Into the freedom of wind and sunshine, we let you go. Into the dance of the stars and the planets, we let you go. Into the wind's breath and the hands of the star maker, we let you go. We love you, Gerti. We miss you. We want you to be happy. Go safely, go dancing, go running home. I invite all of you to auto fellowship after I have taken the family out.